Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the 7th of September, 2021. This is, I guess, the last of the black and gold NXT. Not a fan of the changes to come for the brand, but it is what it is. Kaylee Ray defeated Ember Moon. Ray pins Moon in a decent enough match, competitive match from the beginning. Moon setting a faster than normal pace. Moon gets cut off by Ray. Ray slows down the pace, working her over. Ray targets the arm, and Moon fights back while still selling. Hits a code breaker for near fall, and then Moon applies crossface. Ray escapes, sends Moon crashing into the turnbuckle. Show cuts picture in picture. Moon makes a comeback after the show returns, and Ray executes a tornado DDT. Moon reverses a suplex, and Moon suplexes Ray out of the ring, not necessarily needing this spot, but anyway. Moon goes top rope. Ray cuts her off. Ray keeps the top rope swanton bomb, and then nets a near fall. Counter by Moon leads to a Michinoku driver, and Ray manages a kick out. A moment later, Ray uses counter of her own. Ray drops Moon on the mat with a gory bomb, and Ray covers Moon for a 3 count. Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland is with them as well. Burch did not want to talk about his return. He and Lorcan vow to win the tag titles. Dunne told them not to win the titles. Dunne also said that they will end MSK, which I wouldn't be against because it's just more flippy floppy uselessness. Anyway, Indy Hartwell shows up at the bachelorette party. Candice LeRae is there along with Indy's friends. Indy thanks one friend for coming all the way from Australia. Her friends said she came from Disney World. Indy acknowledges Candice and gives a toast saying that she has accepted Dexter Lumis. There's really bad comedy, and Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter are on TikTok, and Candice calls it flip flop, which I did find funny. Indy wondered what's happening at the bachelorette party, and Candice remember that she has spy gear. Indy and Candice are going to spy on the guys, and then Santos Escobar with El Legado de Fantasma defeats Carmelo Hayes. Escobar pins Hayes after interference from his stablemates. Elektra Lopez gives Hayes a body slam on the floor before Escobar wins the match using his finish. Lopez is wearing a jacket, sunglasses, and a hat. And then the match goes through a commercial. Just before the break, Hayes sent flying off the apron. Hayes smacks the announce table and is selling as the show goes to break. Escobar works over Hayes, comeback by Hayes, and he hits a flurry of lots of offense. Springboard guillotine leg drop, springboard clothesline, and a cutter by Hayes. Escobar kicks out. Hayes then goes for another springboard, and Escobar hits a knee strike in midair. 3/4 roll takedown by Hayes. Another near fall. And then Hayes DDTs Escobar in the apron. Fantasma then interferes, causing a distraction. And then Elektra body slams Hayes on the floor. Escobar executes a phantom driver for the win. Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, are warming up for their match later. Malcolm Bivens introduces the Creed brothers, the newest members of Diamond Mine, debuting on NXT later tonight. William Regal announces a fatal 4-way next week that determines number one contender for the NXT Championship. O'Reilly, Ciampa, Dunn, and LA Knight. 2 out of 3 of those aren't bad. Jules and Brutus Creed with Diamond Mine defeat Chucky Vela and Paxton Everall. Goofiness, I'm not necessarily sure this needs to be here on the show, but it obviously means they're intending to push the team. Creed brothers win basically an enhancement match, playing off their amateur wrestling backgrounds, and they win wearing singlets and wrestling shoes. Match. Um, anyway, yeah, just kind of there. Anyway, so Brutus tosses one guy over the ropes and pumps their opponents from pillar to post, kind of send them back and forth, manhandling them, throwing them around. Creed brothers eat up their adversaries pretty quickly. Basically, an old school squash match, pure dominance, and the Creeds look hungry and like they're ready to go. 6 months and they'll have been killed, especially if you send them to the main roster. Ember Moon, in a post-match interview, teased a change coming for herself. Maybe she goes heel, who knows? Anyway, Hit Row cuts promos on Legado del Fantasma. Hit Row continues to be pretty cool, but they're not my thing, but I get it. I understand what they're trying to do with it. Anyway, so then we go to NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. I'd forgotten they'd won the championships. That's how important they are. Casey Catanzaro, and Caden Carter. Shirai pins Stark to retain the championships. Shirai and Stark don't get along. They work together to finish the match off anyway. Shirai tries to do all the work by herself during the match and ignores Stark. This backfires. Shirai makes a blind tag. Carter and Catanzaro do hit a bunch of double team maneuvers along the way. Stark tags herself in, and Shirai's not happy about this. Stark whips Carter into the corner, causing Carter to collide with Shirai. Stark charges forward and runs into her own partner. Shirai goes sailing off the apron. Carter then gets an armlock DDT on Stark. Catanzaro is on the shoulder for a double team and then leads to a splash off the ropes. Shirai makes a save and a missile drop kick. Stark then capitalizes and hits the signature modified GTS. Stark tags in Shirai. Shirai climbs turnbuckle. Shirai hits a moonsault and covers Catanzaro for the pinfall. Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane run in to attack Catanzaro and Carter post-match. Heels run them into the ground. Then we go back to the bachelor party. Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano are riding in a limo heading to the bachelor party. Gargano is pretty angry. He vows to pay for nothing. They do the To the Moon line when they pick up Cameron Grimes. Odyssey Jones and Drake Maverick are also in the limo, along with the zombie referee. Grimes hands out money to everyone. He calls for a truce with Lumis, and they shake hands. And then they go to the party. Go-kart races. Grimes puts up $30,000 in prize money. Meanwhile, Hartwell and LeRae are spying on them. Gargano wins the race. Party moves to an axe-throwing contest. Lumis helps show Gargano the proper form, and they are actually getting along. Partygoers go on to Bounce House and then play laser tag. Lumis helps his team win by taking out the opposing teams, and then they celebrate. And somewhere along the way, we find out zombie referee is Canadian. Gargano reluctantly high-fives Lumis. Friendship is born. Hartwell and LeRae run into everyone at the same place, and then teaser plugs in-ring debut of Mei Ying next week, or which is up next. Then Frankie Monet is with Jesse Kamea and Robert Stone. Announces big news. Stone talks to Regal, and booked for next week is Raquel Gonzalez defending the championship against Frankie Monet. What a backward step for Raquel Gonzalez. Mei Ying with Boa defeats Virginia Ferry. Ying wins a squash. She begins an onslaught with chops to the throat. Ferry counters with a jawjacker. Ying rocks Ferry with a kick. Chops to the throat, and Ying stomps on Ferry. Ying then applies Tonga Death Grip, and Ferry's shoulders are pinned for a 3 count. Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly, LA Knight all cut promos leading up to the 4-way taking place next Tuesday. Once again announced a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match, Ciampa, O'Reilly, Knight, and Dunn, and Women's Championship, Raquel Gonzalez defending against Frankie Monet in the next Steel NXT Tag Team Champions. In your main event, Nash Carter and Wes Lee defeated Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, with Pete Dunne and Rich Holland to retain the title. Lee pins Carter, Lee pins Burch to retain the titles, and Rich Holland and Pete Dunne turn on their friends post-match. Burch starts the match in a return bout coming back from injury. Burch is extremely aggressive. MSK get the shine before the show cuts to picture. Hot tag to Wes Lee, and Vic Joseph on commentary calls Lee a quote house fire. And then Lee is moving quickly through. Carter gets a near fall on the challengers. Springboard off Saeem Moonsault, goes for a swanton, but Lorcan gets the knees up. Lorcan then hits chop block on Carter, and Lorcan applies ankle lock. Lee tries to make the save, but Burch traps Lee in the crossface, and defending champs both caught submission holds, but escape clutches. Match turns into a melee. Lorcan misses a charge and then hip tosses into a corner. Lorcan then falls victim to MSK's heart attack blockbuster combination finisher. Lee covers for the win. Dunne and Holland turn on Burch and Lorcan by attacking them. They lay out their former stablemates and friends. Dunne and Holland leave, but they turn around. Holland delivers a bunch more punishment, so show closes with the cliffhanger of Dunne and Holland now being a tag team that is on the heel side. We'll be back with more right after this.